Okay, the distributive property is so good. You're gonna love it. Before we get into math stuff, let's do some easy stuff. Can you find the area of that rectangle? So think in your head. If you need to pause for a sec, pause. Come back and you probably know that, yeah, it's length times width. The area of that rectangle is 21. Very good. Now, in your head, figure out the area of that shape there. I'll give you a couple seconds. Pause if you need to. So now if you come back, you've figured out, I'm going to tell you, the area of that shape is 32. It's not getting the number isn't what I want you to think about. I want you to think about what went on in your head. All right. This is what some of you did. You looked at this and you said, well, 4 times 5, this square is 20. And 4 times 3, this square, a rectangle, is 12. 20 and 12 is 32. Perfect. And you would write that way. That's what you did. In your head, you went 4 times 5. And you added 4 plus 3, and you got 32. Some of you saw this and said, well, this is really one big rectangle. So instead of doing 2, I'm just going to go 5. I'm going to add 5 plus 3 and get 8. You go 8 times 4, which is 32. And the way you write that is what you did is you, in parentheses, put 5 and 3 together and multiplied that whole thing times 4. And you still got 32 because 5 plus 3 is 8. And 8 times 4 is 32. This is called the distributive property, something that we see a lot of in math. And what that is, the distributive property is, that's just a bunch of letters that mean nothing to you. It's A, and then in parentheses, B plus C, AB plus AC. But really, we're going to forget that for now. The distributive property actually does you a favor because it makes math easier. So most of the stuff that you don't understand at first is done because it makes math easier. So this is what, let's look at this. Maybe this will be easier. 5 times 3x minus 5 equals 15x plus minus 25. That doesn't make much sense either. That's just a bunch of numbers and letters. So I'm going to break this down. Let's cover this up. Cover up the blue, move blue. There we go. Here we go. What does this really mean? 5 times 3x minus 5. What that means is you really have, it's multiplying, you have 5 groups of 3x minus 5. And we want to find out what they mean. So if you don't like the distributive property, you could just write it out. Maybe it'll be easier for you. If you wrote this out, it looks like this. 3x minus 5, that's 1. 3x minus 5, that's 2. 3x minus 5, that's 3. 3x minus 5, that's 4. 3x minus 5, that's 5. Yeah, you could have it 5 times. You could write it all the way out because you don't want to do all that. And then you can add them all together. I want to put all these together. If you go back to combining like terms, the families go together. So we have, there's 3x, that's 6. 3 more x is 9. 3 more x is 12. 3 more x is 15. 15x. Oh. Let's subtract all the 5s. 5 minus 5, minus now to 10, now to minus 15, now to minus 20, now to minus 25, minus 25. So combining all those together, you get 15x minus 25. We use the distributive property, obviously, so we don't have to write as much. You don't need to write 3x minus 5 times. You can write it once. Write it once. And then using the parentheses means we're going to multiply everything in here times 5. So that ends up being 15x minus 25. But how do you figure that out? Well, it's a pretty common thing. I call it, and many math teachers call, using the distributive property, we take the first term on the outside of the parentheses and we multiply it by everything. Multiply it by that and multiply it by that. Be careful of all the signs. I like to call it the rainbow. Yeah, it's like a rainbow. It's beautiful. So to simplify, you always multiply the term in front of the parentheses by every term inside the parentheses. Sometimes we forget to do all the terms. You got to do all of them. And you can always draw a rainbow if you're doing it with pencil. So here's a couple of examples. We'll do this one first. 4 in parentheses, 2a plus 5. 4 times 2a, 8a's. Then you go back and do it again. 4 times 5 in green is plus 20. do it one more time, give you another example. Here's negative 8 times x minus 4. If you don't like this, just write down x minus 4 8 times and then put them together. But you really want to do this. Negative 8 times 4, negative 8x. Negative 8 times x is what I meant. Negative 8 times x, negative 8x. Negative 8 times negative 4, be careful of the positives, plus 20. Plus 20, that's plus 32. Where did that come from? I better fix that. It was grouped. I can't fix it, so I don't want to redo the whole video. So I'm going to draw 32 right here. 32. Where did that come from? I don't know where the... Oh, I was just copying it from there. That was my mistake. Typographical error, not math. Typographical. So that's the distributive property. Okay. Photo ID. Almost forgot. Make sure you saw this video we're picking today. I'll try and say the card right. I think I did that already. We did a red card. I haven't done a red one yet. Anyway, 5 of clubs. 5 of clubs. So that is it for distributive properties. Basically, use the rainbow. It's multiplying the first term times each term inside. But most importantly, it's shortening up all the multiplication. That's the distributive property.